Hi, I'm Catharine. I was adopted in 1969, squarely in the middle of the closed adoption era, and I'm here to tell you how my search went, why it was illegal, and how it was successful. so, that didn't throw me off at all. So the era of formalized, legal, closed, confidential adoptions began post-World War II when we were very concerned with legitimizing the perfect nuclear family, even if it contained an adopted child. And this era went from about the 1940s to the 1990s, when about 1.5 million women gave up their children, even though they didn't want to the closed adoption system. And as an adult, I'm 44. Even if I was 95, I would never be allowed to see my original birth certificate. The NSA cannot see my original birth certificate because it's contained in a Terry Gilliam-esque bureaucracy that no one will ever see. These are the 7 states in America where an adult adoptee can obtain their original birth certificate with unrestricted access. I am from Virginia. You will notice it is not colored in. I was adopted in the state of Virginia. It would cost me $500 in addition to the $20,000 my adoptive parents already paid just to ask permission, to ask a judge, to ask the agency to contact my birth parents. There is a myth that persists from the era of closed adoptions, which is birth mothers wanted confidentiality and protection from the children that they gave birth to. And in general, nothing could be further from the truth. These women were mostly coerced into signing pieces of paper promising never to show up on anybody's doorstep in the future. My birth mother gave so much non-identifying information to my adoption agency that it was clear she wanted to be found. And the things highlighted in yellow were things that I would use later on to find her. I went through a period where I thought my birth name was Sarah Elizabeth Andrews, a small misunderstanding, and I thought the teen goth horror novelist V.C. Andrews was my mother. Because when you're adopted, anyone can be your mother. But my name was Sarah Elizabeth Matthews, and my maternal grandfather would be the key to my search. His last name was Matthews. He was a clerk of court. He was 51 and 69, and he was somewhere in Virginia, which is what would make the search so hard. Nowhere to localize. My search began before the advent of the internet, so I made friends with librarians, and I got to know how to use microfiche and look up census and city directories and phone books and randomly searching all the yearbooks around Virginia. With the advent of the internet, and this is probably why I have a career on the internet, I searched Usenet and found a Usenet news group called Alt Adoption, and they taught me black ops methods for searching for my birth family. With the maturation of the internet came a group called Bastard Nation, which formed itself on Queer Nation, and we took back the term bastard, and we taught each other how to search, and we also talked to legislators about forming new laws around the country, some of which have been successful. In 2003, I hired an adoption-specific private investigator who earned no money unless she found something for me, and she came back and said, "I've hit dead ends. It's possibly even fabricated. Your name might not be your name," and I was despondent for 10 years. But on May 30th of this year, just by chance, I said, I'm going to go update my address in an online registry. And the woman who owns it said, "I will help you." And she took all the stuff surrounding my maternal grandfather. And within a few hours, she said, "I have a name, Edward Matthews," and he was 51 and 69, and I found his wife, Genevieve Matthews, but I had to find out, did they have a daughter who was an only child and was 21 and 69? And then I found out they did, and her name was Susan Matthews, and it only took me about a day to figure out she's on Facebook, and this is her photo, and the evidence, the resemblance, is incontrovertible. I contacted her on Facebook and she responded within 90 minutes and she never wanted to give me up. We have been inseparable ever since, and it has been the most amazing journey ever. And it's not only her. I have 2 brothers and a sister and a 90-year-old grandmother and cousins and in-laws. Like, I have family out the ass. As soon as I met Susan, she told me the name of my birth father, and I am so sad to tell you that he died when I was 10 years old, so I will never get to know him. But I've been getting to know his mother and his sisters, my grandmother and my aunts, and it has been the most rewarding experience of my whole life. And even though I have all of this, there's one thing I still don't have, and that's my original birth certificate. And you can read about my quest to get that from Virginia at sarahwasmyname.wordpress.com.